And I don't want to scare my Alabama fans when I say this, but it is the reality of the situation. I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear, but you can bet your best bet I'm always going to tell you what you need to hear. Oh man, I hate to say this, I really do, but it's not looking good for Alabama at this moment in time.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of one of the best coaches Alabama has had and the best coach we've had since Matt Ryan, I hereby now place this Meat Lovers Pizza from the Standard right here at the data stand where we will stand forever.
Forever! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we don't got time to waste. We got some big time breaking news and a developing story to talk about, including two of Alabama's star players, Caleb Downs and Isaiah Bond. And as to when I'm making this video any moment now, Caleb DeBoer is about to have his introductory press conference at the University of Alabama, and more than likely, we're going to talk about that, so come on back later for another video. And matter of fact, you might as well have your notifications on coming back every couple hours, because we're pumping out these videos. There's a lot of stuff going on in the college football world. And you already know your boy Matt is in the MBG sweatshop, and I'm going to keep you guys updated 24/7. And I don't want to scare my Alabama fans when I say this, but it is the reality of the situation. I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear, but you can bet your best bet I'm always going to tell you what you need to hear. Alabama's facing a big, and I mean a big dilemma when it comes to their star players. And we're not doing no intro, none of that. We're getting straight into this. I don't got time to waste. You don't got time to waste either. As we all know, yesterday, the breaking news comes out that Isaiah Bond, one of Alabama's best wide receivers, he's entering the transfer portal. Goes without being said, devastating loss, devastating blow. That was going to be a starter next year. And I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. To all the Alabama players that are going to enter the transfer portal, I don't hate you for it, and I understand it completely. You signed to Alabama because you thought you were going to play for Nick Saban, and now he's not there anymore. If these players choose to leave Alabama, I'm wishing them the best of luck. But, and I have a really big but, I will say this. The one thing that saddened me with Isaiah Bond entering the portal was he didn't wait until we got a new head coach. He did it before that. I wish he would have waited and heard out who we were going to hire, talk to him, and then enter the portal if he chose to do so. Because think about it. You never know. Alabama may be, and this is just a maybe, they might hire a offensive-minded head coach who is really good at developing wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? That could have happened, and yeah, you get what I'm saying. I'm being sarcastic here. It did happen. Alabama hires a great offensive head coach where wide receivers have thrived under his system, and Kalen DeBoer. And I'm going to remind some of y'all, Washington arguably had the best wide receiver core in all of college football last year. Everybody knows Rome Odunze, but all the other guys like Polk and the other guy, I can't think of his name, they were really good as well. So that's where things really, and I mean really get interesting with Isaiah Bond here. Because now I think Isaiah Bond has flipped his mentality to, oh yeah, I'm leaving Alabama, to, wait a minute, hold on. I might consider staying. I'm promised a starting spot at Alabama. We're going to be a really good team next year. We might not win a championship, but we're going to be a really good team. And also, wide receivers thrive under Kalen DeBoer's system. I haven't heard any reports of what Isaiah Bond's going to do, but I think you got to be out of your mind to say that he's not considering staying at Alabama. And that has got to be Kalen DeBoer's #1 mission right now. You got to meet with Isaiah Bond and try to convince him to come back. Speaking of mission, let's get to mission number 2. Caleb Downs. There's been a lot of rumors and speculations within the past 24 or 36 hours that Alabama's star safety, arguably the most talented player on their team outside Jalen Milroe, he is going to be entering the portal. Unlike Isaiah Bond, Downs hasn't said anything about entering the portal. He hasn't fired the paperwork, none of that. But there's a wide consensus here that he's either A, going to be going to Ohio State, or B, going to Georgia. And I'm going to remind some of y'all, coming out of high school, Ohio State and Georgia, those were other two teams that were recruiting him very hard as well. And I'm going to let you know right now, the way things are looking, I would be shocked at this point if Caleb Downs does wind up staying in Alabama. Oh man, I hate to say this, I really do, but it's not looking good for Alabama at this moment in time. And the reason I say that is because Alabama, one of their assistant coaches and arguably one of their biggest recruiters on the defensive side of the ball outside of Nick Saban himself, T-Rob, he has officially left Alabama and he's going to Georgia. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. Travarius Robinson, he's heading to Georgia with Kirby Smart. And why this is such a big deal is because he was heavily involved with the defensive backs at Alabama, and Caleb Downs is a defensive back. So you know what I'm about to say next. It would make a ton of sense for Caleb Downs to follow T-Rob to Georgia with Kirby Smart, and also you gotta remember, Kirby Smart is a defensive mastermind just like Nick Saban. And I originally thought if Caleb Downs were to leave Alabama, the #1 destination was going to be Ohio State, but that was before this recent news. I now would say, outside of staying at Bama, #1 option, or destination, whatever you want to call it, is Georgia, then #2, Ohio State. I just have a hard time believing he's going to stay on that Alabama defense without Nick Saban, without a current defensive coordinator, and with T-Rob leaving. And I'd hate it. I'd hate it because, man, I've been hyping this kid up ever since he was a senior in high school, and you guys know this. I made a video in the offseason trying to tell people he's the next Minkah Fitzpatrick, and some people believe me. I'll give those people credit, but some others was like, nah, that's a crazy comparison, Matt. And I was like, all right, we'll see. And yeah, we saw this year. He is everything Minkah Fitzpatrick was. Minkah Fitzpatrick, a baller as a true freshman, same thing for Caleb Downs. It's the greatest comparison I can give you. Minkah Fitzpatrick at Bama did a little bit of everything and could do everything if asked, and same thing for Caleb Downs. We also got to throw this in there. This is breaking news. Washington's offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb and their wide receiver coach DeMarcus Shepard, it's being announced that they are expected to join DeBoer at Alabama. That would be a big-time pickup, but yet again, I don't think that's necessarily big for keeping Caleb Downs in the secondary. It's big for Isaiah Bond staying, but Caleb Downs, I don't know about all that. I'll be updating you guys on this by the hour. Not the day, not the morning or night, by the hour, so stay tuned. And let me know in the comment section, Bama fans, how do you feel about Isaiah Bond and Caleb Downs? What do you think they're going to do? We'll see what happens there, but detrimental loss losing T-Rob to Georgia. That stings. I'm not too worried or concerned about losing T-Rob. We'll replace him. I'm more concerned about, since we lost T-Rob, that also might equate to us losing Caleb Downs. That would suck. And before we end off this video, take a look at this comment. Very good question. This was on the recent video. Do you think Alabama's new coach can beat Kirby next year? Great question. Great question. I'm glad you asked, and I have a great and simple answer. Heck yes! Kalen DeBoer can beat Kirby Smart. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't even think it's up for debate. Yeah, he can beat Kirby Smart. What are you talking about? Alabama has all the 4- and 5-star recruits in the world. Our starting quarterback, Jalen Milroe, coming back. Yeah, we're going to have to replace some pieces and players here and there, but we do that every single year. And I know what some people may be saying, and it is a fair argument. Well, Matt, Tennessee has been getting 4- and 5-star recruits the past 15 years, and they haven't been good. I like that argument. But you got to remember, Tennessee was hiring doofuses as head coaches. They weren't hiring proven guys. Kalen DeBoer here just took a team with far lesser talent than Alabama to the freaking playoff. I'm not worried. I'm not. I am very high on Kalen DeBoer right now, and I'm feeling good. And I don't just believe that he can beat Kirby Smart. I think he will beat Kirby Smart. I'm not predicting the game next year. I'm just talking about moving forward in the years to come. We're going to be A-okay, and I mean this when I say this. I'm not even worried about Georgia. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Kirby Smart, and Georgia has a heck of a program. But why in the world should I, as an Alabama fan or any Alabama fan, be scared of Georgia? We got their number. And I think it's so funny that all these Georgia fans just automatically assume, okay, Nick Saban's gone. We're just going to beat the crap out of Alabama in the next 10 years and we're the new dynasty. Like, what? I could understand that if y'all were 3-3 against Alabama in the past 6 matchups, but you're not. You struggle mightily against Alabama. And hey, maybe it does happen. Maybe you beat Alabama the next 6 times, but how about you win a couple games first before you start talking all that crap? I just think it's very naive and delusional thinking to automatically assume just because Nick Saban retired, you're going to start beating Alabama consistently. That's all I'm going to say. And I like it because that's good rat poison for Alabama. And it also gives Georgia fans, or they're giving themselves, false hope. And that's dangerous. You don't want to give yourself false hope. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But